So tonight we're going to start by hearing first from Terry Gottlieb of Trinity Episcopal Church, and off we go.
Thanks, Rick. And thank you all. I hope you hear thank you a lot for opening your hearts up to these refugees. You know you're responding to one of the biggest humanitarian efforts in the world, and maybe of all time. So, who are refugees? I'm going to kind of just give you an overview of the whole meaning and process of that. Refugees are a special type of immigrant. They're people who fled from their home country because they were persecuted or in fear of being persecuted. If you think about it, many of our ancestors were technically refugees. They're usually targeted in their country because of their religious beliefs, their ethnicity, race, political views. And once they leave their country, they can't return because they would be persecuted. When they flee the country, they place their future and their lives on the country that they flee to. Most spend years in refugee camps, and as you probably know, that's no picnic. And they wait, and they wait, and they wait to start their lives over again. Right now, there are over 19 million refugees in the world today. That's the most since World War II. And less than 1% of those get resettled. So, how are refugees selected to come to the United States? The U.S. plans to invite, or is already in process of inviting 85,000 refugees from all over the world. About 10,000 of those are Syrian. Some are from the Congo and other African nations, so they're from all over. They'll be assigned to one of 9 national resettlement agencies, which then place them with 350 affiliated nonprofit organizations in the country. So in Connecticut, there are 3 of those nonprofit organizations. There's the Catholic Charities in Hartford, the International Institute of Connecticut in Bridgeport, and IRIS in New Haven. And that's who we're working with, is IRIS, and I believe somebody's going to talk about IRIS. You are. Gordon will. Okay, so I know we all hear a lot of negativity from people about letting in refugees because there might be terrorists in the midst of them. And I can assure you the likelihood of drowning in your bathtub is higher than having a terrorist enter through the refugee program. They are seriously vetted while they're waiting in the camps. They go through this rigorous process. They're interviewed many times before being granted refugee status by the United Nations High Commissioner. You can look all this up online if you don't believe me. After that, they're interviewed again by Homeland Security. They're fingerprinted. They're subject to background checks. Criminal and political activity is checked. And I'll tell you, this U.S. process of vetting is the most rigorous in the world. And it involves databases from the FBI, the CIA, Department of Defense, and they tap into other nations' intelligence agencies as well. So this whole process can take years to complete. Once they're approved, then they're subject to a medical exam looking for communicable diseases, any medical issues that they might have a need for, so we will know beforehand if they do have any medical issues. And then they're finally, if they are approved for travel, they have to take a loan out to get their airfare to fly to the United States. And that loan is given through an organization called the International Organization for Migration. And that's about it. And I think we're going to have question and answer at the end of all of this, so we'll hold any questions till then. So now I'm going to introduce Eve, who's going to talk about IPR. Thank you.